One man, two weapons, three difficulties, and no backup plan.
Hi everyone, my name is Z, and welcome back to the Dark Chronicles of Diablo. We're going full solo self-found hardcore mode with a throwing barbarian. No melee, no shields, just pure, unadulterated yeeting. Let's see how far we can get before the game decides to remind me who's really in charge. I create my character and appropriately name him Yeet Lord, as that's what I will be doing this run. My rules are simple. No dying, throwing weapons only, and I must find all of my own gear. I put both mouse clicks to throw and go loot chests and houses until I have enough gold to buy some javelins at Charcy. I am a barbarian who is obsessed with gambling and throwing sharp things into the skulls of my enemies. I leave the rogue encampment and I end up bumping the player count up so I gain experience faster. My goal is to max throwing mastery as quick as possible, as it gives critical strike chance, enhanced damage, attack rating, chance to pierce target, and increased chance to not consume quantity. Critical strikes also replenish quantity, so it's possible that a throw doesn't consume anything and it actually replenishes it instead. Ah, the Stony Field, home of our favorite sparkly blue boy Rakanishu. This little idiot ends many hardcore runs as he does quite a bit of damage for a low level enemy. I smash him several times for experience before moving on to the Black Marsh. The Countess I'm mostly running to get Tal and Eth runes to make the stealth rune word. I get lucky as fuck and they drop in the same run together. This may be a great sign that this run will be easy and smooth. Spoiler, it was not. And Dariel, my homie. Put some clothes on, we have some guests today. I guess I'll have to yeet some throwing axes into you until you give me some amazing loot. Didn't I just say amazing loot? I guess you didn't get the memo. I stomped my way through Act 2, destroying Radamant below the sewers for an extra skill point. Grabbed the Heraldric Cube for future crafting and to complete the act. Yeeted some weapons at a bunch of bugs, and did some harpoon hunting with the snakes in the Claw Viper Temple. Being ranged is nice, but the limited weapon options and not being able to utilize runes or sockets at all with weapons will prove to be a challenge later on. Ah, yes. Duriel, the Lord of Pain and lover of tight, cramped spaces and instant regret. I drop down into his space, and I guess he's a hugger when greeting new guests. Barbarians do not hug, they smash people. So naturally, I kite him around throwing axes into his carapace, while gulping down potions like an LSU frat boy at a Greek life party. I set sail with Mashif to Kurast, and immediately set out to find the Gidbin for Ormus so he can bless me with an amazing ring. He actually pulls through, and the ring I get is usable, as it has 77 attack rating, 29 fire resist, and some gold fine. Thanks, bro. I grab the eye, brain, and heart, fighting my way through Act 3, and when I killed Stormtree, he drops the first exciting drop of the run. A unique ring drops, and I'm hoping for either a Manald heal or a Nagel ring, and my odds are incredibly high for either of those. It ended up being a 56 attack rating, 19 magic fine Nagel ring, which are both low rolls but still a huge upgrade. I introduce Travancore and the High Council. These fine gentlemen specialized in fire, hydras, and making my life miserable. I smash all three of them in no time. I hope their life insurance covers death by flying axe. Act 4 is a resistance check. The pit lords in this act will destroy you with fire damage if you're not careful. I tiptoe my way through the act and slap Iswal into the next dimension for my 2 extra skill points. The Hellforge nets me a Tal rune and a perfect emerald, neither of which are overly exciting. The Diablo fight was easy with some resist gear. He may be the Lord of Terror, but he hasn't met the Lord of Yeet, yet has he? I made him the Lord of Dead and moved on to Act 5. Act 5 is my homeland of Haragath, land of the barbarians. I rush my way up the mountain and kill Eldritch the Rectifier a dozen times for some easy levels and loot. I save my brothers from another mother in the mountains so that I'm able to hire a barbarian mercenary to help me on my quest of demonic domination. Time to save Anya from her icy tomb, because apparently nobody else in Haragath has the hangly danglies to step foot in the frozen river and save her ass. I hope to score some bonus points with the young lady, but she ditches me just like my ex-girlfriend did. I then challenge the ancients to a fight to the death. These are my ancestors, and Modok is my great-great-grandfather. They have made a grave mistake, as I am the true Lord of Yeeting, and best them in Mortal Kombat. That fight was harder than explaining Diablo lore to a casual player. I rushed through the Worldstone Keep to find the last boss of normal mode, Baal, Lord of Destruction. I used my crushing blow gloves that I crafted and whittle his health down throw by throw. And that, my friends, is how you yeet a prime evil out of existence. This is the gear and stats that I finished normal with. On to Nightmare. I saw that the first terror zone was Catacombs, so I had to farm normal Andariel for some sick loot. I ended up with a Bone Flesh, which is a perfect armor for my mercenary, as it has lifesteal, attack rating, and open wounds. I moved on to Nightmare after gathering a few uniques and set items, and started farming Nightmare Countess to gather some runeword upgrades. Andariel, Queen of D's Nuts. Have you ever considered wearing perfume that doesn't smell like instant death? Of course she didn't leave me anything good on the Nightmare kill either. I got lucky in the Dark Wood and found a gem shrine and upgraded the perfect ruby. I used the ruby to craft a blood weapon, which can be used on any axe including throwing weapons. So I used a hurlbat, which is an exceptional base. I found another gem shrine and did the same thing with a Francisca. Hit level 45 and finally maxed my throwing weapon mastery. I should have focused on this harder, but I was glad to be maxed on it. Ah, the Maggot Lair. Everyone's favorite claustrophobic nightmare. I hope you like hallways the size of an airplane aisle. Cold World the Burrower gets a taste of Yeet and explodes into a million pieces. The best part about being a barbarian is jumping around like the fucking Energizer Bunny. I am able to traverse the Arcane Sanctuary wonderfully by hopping my way through. Duriel and Nightmare is similar to normal. I swear this fight is just run, throw, scream, repeat. Oh, and down he goes. Why are all these bosses having shit drops? I head to Act 3, grab Kaleem's eye, Kaleem's brain, and give Ormus his butter knife back. He gives me a ring that reeks of anus, and I sell it back to him. I don't need that shit. The Flayer dungeon is very kind to me. I grabbed a Dusk deep down there, which helps my damage and my resistances out very nicely. I also grabbed Tear Haunch, which gives me 10 resist all and some faster run walk. Maybe RNGesus is definitely on my side after all. I head down into the sewers level 2 and oh my fuck dolls! What the shit? I ran back the way I came like the fearless warrior that I am and grabbed my homie in town. I let my bro take the hits while I yeet throwing weapons from afar and grab Kaleem's heart. And we're back to Trav and the High Council and Nightmare. They're a bunch of healing, fire-spitting mongoloids ready to melt my balls in the next tea kettle. Seems like just another day in Sanctuary if you ask me. I dispose of them quickly and head down to Mephisto. The Mephisto fight I end up cheesing him by jumping to the other side of the moat and throwing weapons at him while he can't fight back. Like a man. Okay, fine, I'm fighting like a bitch, but don't at me in the comments. I'm a fearless barbarian, yeeting projectiles into demons and saving beautiful women in distress. Okay, I lied about the last part, but let's move on to Act 4. Iswal tells me that I'm behind on my taxes and that he can file them for me after I buy an extended warranty for my car. I tell him he's so full of shit he could shut his mouth and let his ass talk and throw a few javelins into his cranium and call it a day. Hephaestus the Armorer always makes me happy, as the inner Diablo gambler in me wants to roll that dice on the Hellforge for a chance of an amazing drop. I probably should have just skipped him, as the Hellforge disappoints me with a Dole Rune and a perfect Amethyst. I cleared the Chaos Sanctuary out, no problemo, but I have a close call with some Pit Lords which makes my balloon knot pucker a bit before fighting Diablo. Big D himself. I take this fight cautiously, as I don't want him to give me the Big D ending my run. Through dumb luck and some testicular fortitude, I end up besting the Lord of Terror and moving on to Act 5. More Energizer Bunny up the foothills because Barb. I find some sexy charms such as a 22 lifer large charm and a 4 resist all small charm. These will help greatly in my quest to not get obliterated. I remembered the prismatic amulet formula for the Herodic Cube and put the 6 different perfect gems in the cube with a random magic amulet and hit transmute. This can roll from 16 to 20 resist all with a possibility of a suffix. This game hates me, dude. I find some Venom Grips killing random elites in Act 1 Nightmare, which are a huge upgrade. Poison damage, poison resist, life leech, and crushing blow. Alright, time to rescue the maiden in distress that I was joking about earlier. Maybe I am kind of a hulking manly man barbarian after all, huh? I free this beautiful lass from the ice prison she found herself in, and she gave me a shitty helm and some blue balls. I'm getting the hell out of here, dude. I just about get my face pummeled in by some champion moonlords in the glacial trail. Thankfully, I pull off the dub and keep the progression going. My damage is starting to fall off hard. I find the 3 old men who call themselves ancient warriors. I proceed to turn them into ancient history. The key to victory in this fight is throw a lot of weapons at them from afar and run in circles from them like the hulking wall of muscle that I am. I find a rare ring that is pretty damn good. Ignoring the FCR, which I don't need, the attack rating, minimum damage, and life leech is perfect for now. Bail, my dude. I have heard your obnoxious laugh for 20 plus years at this point. Let me put an end to that for you. Dude, of course you dropped me a bone snap on the one playthrough I'm not allowed to use melee weapons. I see how it is, Bale. Fine, I won't make fun of your laugh next time. These are the stats and gear after Nightmare. Pause if you're interested, but let's move on to Hell Prep. I prepare for Hell by running some Nightmare cows. Unfortunately, it doesn't net me much except a level or 2 of experience. I find another great rare ring with FCR on it and high attack rating, damage, and resists. I change my strategy and farm Nightmare Travincle with my find item skill. I find a Tal Rasha's helm, which is bonerific for my mercenary, and I also find Goblin Toes, which are a blessing for killing bosses with the 25% crushing blow. I notice that my damage is complete ass. I know I cannot complete Hell with my current gear, so I start gambling throwing axes trying to get the elite base, Flying Axe. I have about a 2% chance per gamble on this, so I keep grinding gold until I get one, so I can craft a blood weapon Flying Axe. With my new weapon, I continue farming levels and gear in Terrorized Worldstone Keep. Bale runs Terrorized is amazing experience, and I level very quickly doing this. I use a Hell, Amn, and Neff in a Russet armor to create Myth body armor. This rune word will give me +2 to Barbarian skills and some replenish life. It's not a great armor, but it's sadly better than what I had. Alright boys, I'm in Hell. I'm a big juicy barbarian. I have ass damage, but I'm ready to finish this run. I head to the Den of Evil and find a 3-socket ethereal diamond mail. This will be useful for a mercenary rune word if I find the decent runes. Maybe a treachery will be good here if I can find a Lem rune. I get chased out of town in the cold plains with my terrible damage. I'm unable to kill the undead rogues quick enough and I have to retreat. I snail crawled my way to the Forgotten Tower and kill the Countess. My plan is to kill the Countess and farm the pits until my damage is acceptable enough to finish this difficulty. I quickly realize the ghosts in the tower are physical immune and I don't have a great wheel to deal with this right now. I will have to leap over them, and I decide to throw 4 sockets in the white bill that I found in the caves to Larzik and create the Insight rune word and hire a Holy Freeze mercenary to slow down my enemies and also deal cold damage against the physical immune. My skill, Grim Ward, removes the physical immunes for a few seconds and I'm able to help my new bro Chacho kill some ghosts. The first few Countess runs were terrible drops, but then I end up getting a Lem rune. I was happier than an old man with an exact change at the cash register. I slapped my newfound Lem rune into that diamond mail for a treachery. Oh wow, who saw that coming? Definitely not me. Nope. It's not like I know what happens on this run or anything. I max out my battle orders in the jail and move on to the catacombs for Helen Dariel. And Dariel is angrier than my barber when I tell him my wife can fix it. She chases my ass around in circles while I'm kiting her. I come back with my main dude and kill her with no great loot to brag about. Sounds about right. I decide my damage is still worse than biting into a chocolate chip cookie and realizing it's raisin. I head back to the Countess and farm her for about an hour, and I get a co-rune, a pull rune, along with an ethereal Hyperion spear. This Hyperion spear is about to save my bacon, my dudes. I was so fucking pumped to find this, as it'll roll 3 sockets. Now I can use my co-rune I found earlier and create a hustle. The hustle rune word will provide my mercenary with level 1 fanaticism aura, which increases both of our attack speed by 14%, his damage by 50%, and my damage by 25%. It also gives him burst of speed on striking, which will give him more attack speed, and the rune word naturally has 30% on it as well. The big damage boost to him will allow him to survive better with lifesteal and much faster attack speed. I decide I need to grow a pair now that I have big beefy boy as a tank and finish this difficulty. I slam Radament's head into the wall in the sewers of Luca Lane. I run down into the Claw Viper Temple to fight 1 or 2 snakes. Yo, I said 1 or 2, not 50. What the hell is with these snakes? Maybe I'll have better luck in the Maggot Lair. There won't be any rooms with massive amounts of enemies, will there? Ah, shit. Well, at this point, I'm more frustrated than a man trying to print in black and white, but the printer won't print because the magenta is low. First off, who the hell remembers the color magenta? Secondly, what the hell does magenta have to do with black and white? Let's move on to Duriel, shall we? Okay, Duriel, I have some raid spray for you this time, but I won't even need it. My Hippobrotimus is keeping you still with the Holy Freeze aura and Life Leech that I can stand back and yeet until you're dead. Why can't any act bosses give me a decent drop on the quest reward kill? Hey viewer, can you smell that? Me neither, start cooking. Nah, I'm just messing with you. But I'm smelling victory as we go to Act 3, as long as I'm not an idiot. Act 3 went fairly smooth. I'll spare you the boring details. Here's my Travancore fight where I strategically lure each council member out 1 by 1 and methodically kill them. Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred. This is the last time I'll see your ghostly ass before this challenge is up, as I have no desire to farm him at this point. I let my broski tank Meph while I pepper him with projectiles. He ends up dying and I end the fight the super fair manly way by jumping over the moat and cheesing him. The Hellforge nets me a Gull rune, which if I was on Battle.net, I would be excited as hell about. But there aren't any great rune words with Gull that I have access to with my current rune selection and bases. I'm semi-happy that the highest rune word on the Hellforge dropped, but I would have preferred an or a Mal. I make some random ass resist armor and a 4-socket ethereal armor that I found for this Diablo fight so that my resists are semi-respectable. I swear, if I came all the way to Hell Diablo for him to bitch slap me into next weekend because my resists were shit, then I would have been very disappointed, dude. The Diablo fight takes a long time, like 4 or 5 minutes or so, even with 35% crushing blow. Now we're on the hardest fight of every playthrough, the Hell Ancients. I reset them a few times as they were rolled with bad affixes, such as Conviction Aura, or Cursed, or Fanaticism. I'm not about that shit. We're near the end, and I want to yeet my way to victory here. This Ancients fight takes over 13 minutes, as Modok ends up being Stone Skin, and I didn't realize it until he was the last one left. I went through all of my potions and relied on dodging all the axes and throwing my own back, while my Myth's Armor's plus 10 life replenish keeps me alive. I swear it's fight like these that could give someone a drinking problem. Alright my dudes, I'm at the final battle, Hell Baal himself. I have never died to Baal on my hardcore challenge runs, as he usually has a ton of health, but he doesn't hit super hard. Thank you so much for watching my video and being here. If you enjoyed the video, you already know what to do. Hit that like button or subscribe and you'll get more content like this. If you have any suggestions for builds or like fun challenge runs, give me ideas in the comments below. I love to find new ideas for challenge runs and characters. I always have a code word at the end of my videos to put in the comments. That way you guys can let me know that you made it this far. It kind of is like a thing where, it's kind of like a secret thing where, you know, you can say, hey, Z, I made it to the end of your video. Anyway, that code word today is Snickers. So somewhere in your comment when you leave it below, just throw that word in there, Snickers. It could be at the beginning, the end. Be creative with it. Throw the word Snickers in your comment. Anyway, here's my ending gear, stats, skills, and the legendary Guardian screen, boys. I made it. I beat the game. Z out. Peace.